Picks and Parlay family, it's me, Detroit Lenny here, talk a little NFL preseason. We're going to talk week 2 of the preseason, all Saturday games. August 17th is what we're talking. I brought the two of my favorite handicappers with me, David Delano and Mr. Sean Higgs, and we're going to talk some football preseason, folks. So let me preference this real quick. First of all, like, share, subscribe. Promo codes at the bottom. NFL season preseason packages are available. Full season packages are available. Everything's available. Picksandparlays.net from both of these premium handicappers. Second thing, it's preseason. Calm down. This is where I insert that emoji. Calm down. Small unit bets. This is preseason here, folks. These are not, to each their own. Higgs is going to tell you to bet the house on everything. So I'm just kidding. He's so anti that. That's why I had to say that. Higgs, we're going to do this rapid fire style, guys. Each one's going to give you a side. Each one's going to give you a total. Jets -1 in Carolina. Totals at 31.5. Mr. Higgs, what do you got for me?
Well, you said to put the on things, and if you didn't get down on some of these games on Monday, a lot of movement on these games. So guys will be playing. Teams are going to look for a win here. Maybe next week they'll go into week 3. There's no week 4. There's a bye week. So read into the lines as you will, but you should always try to get down early for better lines here. This game here, line move. This was a 3.5, and now Jets -1. I don't understand why it came down. Have I missed something? Bryce Young isn't playing. I don't know why. You think this guy just won the NFC South or something? He was terrible. He's terrible, and the backups are terrible. Jake Luton, and who are these guys? Are you kidding? I'm taking the Jets here. Square play. And the line moved against me. At least I know with the Jets, I got a guy in Adrian Martinez who came in last week, ran around, did pretty good things, scrambling. Beasley had a touchdown throw, no interceptions from either of them. So I got a guy
smart, conservative.
I got a guy looking to stick here. And on Carolina, I got two guys probably looking to be a backup, but they're not very good. They're not very good players. The team's not very good. The fact that they're not playing a quote-unquote franchise quarterback with a new head coach. How does he get a pass?
What do we do? Right.
This is now tomorrow. They're supposed to play. We're doing this early. Thursday, there's going to be a scrimmage between the two teams. Rodgers will play, and Young. This guy needs a lot more work than that. Give me the Jets. The Jets got something to prove. Carolina is a hot mess. Jets -1. Only way to do it here. No Carolina. No, thank you. Bad team.
No, thank you, Carolina.
Now
no thanks.
Listen, week 1 NFL, you want to take Carolina into points against the Saints? Do it. I've already bet it +5.5. That's fine. Here, no.
Jets -1 from Sean Higgs. Let's keep this party going. Dallas Cowboys plus points in Las Vegas taking on the Raiders. Raiders -6.5. Mr. David Delano, what do you got for me?
Yeah, so last week in the preseason, the Cowboys were a big favorite. It didn't really make sense to me, but I stayed away from it. I did take the Raiders, fell for that. And looking at this here, one thing, this line doesn't make a lot of sense to me. First of all, I'm looking at the Cowboys being a big favorite last week, getting 6.5 points. This is still preseason. I think that we're going to see a lot of Trey Lance. I think that he will get better, and this is a guy that has a lot to prove. And really, for the Raiders to get 6.5 points, I understand that it's preseason, but the way that they handled last week against the Vikings, that was a Vikings team, I believe, going into that game had lost 10 straight preseason games, which is one of the reasons I like the Raiders. But even though they're competing for quarterbacks, you've got Aiden McConnell, you've got Gardner Minshew. They brought in, they're bringing in Nathan Peterman. I don't really love the quarterbacks here.
Right.
At the end of that game, they've got Anthony Brown Jr. on the roster. They were afraid to let him do anything. Antonio Pierce calling timeouts on that last drive to help the Vikings out, calls one on 3rd down, calls one to help them get closer into field goal range. I just think that the Raiders are getting way too many points here with what we're going to see at the back of the roster. I've got to take the 6.5 points with the Dallas Cowboys.
Got to. I agree totally, and a lot of these NFL preseason lines don't make a whole lot of sense, but neither do some of the decisions they're making in preseason as well. Like you just mentioned, and that. So
he was right around you at Vegas. He's a Vegas guy, Dave. He's like, oh my goodness, what's going on? He was all pumped up about this team.
Me? Not me. I can't stand the Raiders. Vikings and the Browns total 36.5. David Delano's got a total for this one. Or are you going? I'm coming right back to you.
Yeah, so on the surface, I mean, this looks like a game that the Browns should win, but I don't want to be a fanboy on that. So looking at the total, Browns were a big favorite against the Packers. They lost that game 23-10. We're not going to see Deshaun Watson, I think, with Tyler Huntley and Jameis Winston and Dorian Thompson-Robinson having experience that people are high on the Browns in the preseason. But offense only put up 10 points against the Packers. Still a conservative game plan. And going against the Vikings in this one, we just found out that J.J. McCarthy, who was a big part of the scoring that they did in the opening preseason game, is now out for the season. So they've got Sam Darnold, but McCarthy's out for the season, so they can't risk Sam Darnold getting hurt. I know that this is the preseason, but you're in Cleveland facing a Browns team that had the -- home defense. You don't want to risk Darnold getting hurt. So I don't think that we're going to really see too much offensively in this game. I don't think that we get to 37. I think that this is going to be a low-scoring game. Total may drop. I'm taking the under 36.5.
There you have it, under 36.5. And yeah, that J.J. McCarthy news broke today as we filmed this Wednesday night for preseason week 2. So, and you're right. Hey, listen, he's a Michigan guy. So all the karma in the world, J.J. McCarthy. Hit that like button. Listen, Buccaneers, 37.5 with Jacksonville. Sean Higgs, what do you got for me?
Yeah, unlike a low-scoring game I think that they've got, I think I'm going to get some points on the board here with Tampa and the Jags. And preseason to me is about quarterbacks. And I had Cleveland last week thinking I love the quarterback depth here. No matter who's playing, the guys are going to throw the ball. They got NFL experience. Tampa really didn't have that with Trask and Wolford, but they're two guys. Trask was a second-round pick, thought of like, it's Brady's replacement. He had a good game, 10 to 20, couple, 100 yards, whatever, not bad. He is what he was. But the Jags, listen, you got Mac Jones back there, C.J. Beathard, Trevor Lawrence, who's C.J. and Mac Jones was, let's be honest, he was supposed to be, he had a good rookie season, and then you bring in 3 coordinators in 3 years, he doesn't look as good. 2 guys looking to stick. One guy's got a pretty decent-sized chip on his shoulder, and we might see a little Lawrence here for maybe a quarter of a half, right? So, I mean, a lot of love on that guy. Now, let's be honest. The McCarthy news, maybe some of these coaches are like, heck with this, man. We're not going to roll a guy out there. Maybe it changes some of their mindset a little bit. But either way, I'm going to have 2 guys coming in after who are going to want to chuck the ball and throw the ball around and build up their own resumes or whatever. Give me the over 37.5.
I like this over. I like this over a lot, to be honest with you. This might be one of my favorite plays of the weekend. Take that for what it's worth. I don't know nothing. I'm here so I don't get fined. Higgs, over 37.5, Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Guys, don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Promo codes at the bottom. NFL season is upon us. We're in week 2 of the preseason. Regular season's around the corner. College football's around the corner, literally down the street around the corner. So get in, picksandparlays.net. Get the VIP plays over there. David Delano, we appreciate you. Sean Higgs, we appreciate you as well. Let's do a quick recap. Higgs likes the Jets -1 because, come on. And then over 37.5 from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. David Delano likes the Cowboys +6.5. I do like the points. I don't know who wins that game, but that's too many points. Yes, and I also like the under in Cleveland here against a panicking Minnesota Vikings. First of all, you were panicking because you're in the same division as the Lions. Now you're panicking because you lost what you thought was the hope. So I'm not biased at all. Good luck unless you're against me. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for stopping by.